Hey everyone, welcome to Camppatton Family Compounds Monday night fireside chat. Tonight's topic is, how is your winter going so far? And let me just jump back over here. Hey, how's everybody doing? Everyone seems to be a little busy here lately, and so I'm not sure if anybody's going to be coming up here and joining me. I sent out all the links and stuff, but let's say hi to everybody that's in here right now. First in was Stephanie, Idaho Garden Girl, then Joe, Garden State Gardener, Tibor is here, and Lewis came in, and then Alicia came in. Hey, Alicia. Christy Betts, Prairie Rider, that's Lori, also known as Queen of the North, from the other side of the border, and Prepared for Eternity. How you doing, Reverend? And make sure I'm not missing anybody as I scroll down here. Everybody's talking back and forth. Good. Tammy, Rebel Canners in the house. Hey. And Nature Girl's here. Hey. Jay is in the house as well. All righty. Shady Hill Homestead is in here. More people are coming in. Rachel Knight. Hey, Rachel. Doing housework. I understand. Well, this is just sort of not really a main topic type night. This is just kind of everyone can, talk about things they're doing, maybe give other people ideas, what, things to do here as we get through winter. Let everyone know how things are going across the country. I got a couple of news items to talk about. The one thing is that, let me just change something over here on the side here. Boom, get that down out of the way. Got a notification on Facebook, from a local group here called I Love Firth, which is the city across the railroad tracks from us. And they had posted that, let's see, I lost it here. Let me open this. I can get back to it. Here we go. This morning, somebody wasn't too smart, and it's about 8:30 this morning. Garbage truck driver just dumped off the town or the city up the road about 4 miles, called Shelley. Dropped off a load at the city's transfer station of garbage, a garbage truck. Coming back, and hey, there's a train coming southbound. Oh, I'm gonna beat the train. Bam. And I froze. And it just sort of knocked the truck all over the place. I was trying to find that post again, but it's not showing there. Here we go. And see if it'll bring it up here, the large picture of it. And that one. And so it's one of those ones that has a container on it, and it just did a number on there to it. So safety tip, people, even if it does, if it's a train crossing that doesn't have the drop down gates but has the flashing lights, those lights start flashing. Don't cross. Trains are so huge that in the distance they look like they're coming really slow, but they're moving fast. Hey Jen, how's it going? Hey Diggs. And so the truck tried crossing there and got tagged by the train and spun around. Not too smart to be, you guys should have known better than that. We've got the adaptive timer here. Hey, how's it going? So when you're out there, you need to exercise safety when you're crossing railroad tracks. All right, and Lewis says, come on, where does it go? Jumped. Propane is 99 cents a liter in Canada, highest it's ever been. Yeah, I know. I mean, the price on, I'm going to drop this back in. The price on propane is ridiculous. I mean, it's almost for one of those little 1 pound bottles at Walmart. It's almost $9 a bottle now, and it's like, dang. Let's see what's going on here. Hey, Teresa, how's it going? Stringfield Ridge Farm. Winter sucks, and I'm tired of it. Oh yeah, I mean, this winter has been, for where I'm at here. We moved into the new house across the street from the main place on February 2nd, February 3rd. And, it's just, it's so much colder this year than it was last year. The wind's blowing harder. Granted, last year we had more snow at the beginning of February than we did this year, but the amount of cold is just so ridiculous. I'm going through firewood. Hey, Josh, how's it going? Hey, Steve, of course, there's trainers. Anybody not subscribed to Gardener Josh? Actually, just about everybody in here has great channels, but Gardener Josh is dealing with his new baby goats, and Steve is out there giving good information to everybody on preparedness and stuff. We had a great time this morning on the morning coffee, or the Island of Misfit Toys, as we call it. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the link here into the chat for those that didn't pick it up in the other things or didn't catch it off their emails. There it is. So I'm opening it up for some people to come up here, and we're just going to talk about things. I also want to keep an eye on the chat for everyone to talk about how's winter been going for you guys. Here, it's been it's been like I said, unusual. It's been cold. It was a lot colder than it was last year, and I got Lewis coming up here maybe. Let's see if it connects all the way. He's trying to come in. There he goes. Hey, Lewis.
Hey, how's it going?
There's been, all right. And since it's been so much colder, I've been burning through a lot more firewood, and I'm not even keeping the house as warm as I did last winter. And it's just, one of those things is just, nuts. The only really good thing is that my daughter was able to get a new furnace in over there, which is an 89% efficient furnace. So they're using a lot less natural gas across the street than they did last year. Hey, Tina Weber.
Yeah, I had my propane tank filled today, and it was like $521.22 for 440 liters.
Wow.
Yeah. And on the ticket off the truck, it says per liter 98.5 cents per liter.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, just everything's going weird. I don't want to talk too much about what's going on across the ocean, but everybody kind of knows. But the prices on all sorts of fuels is just suddenly, in the last 3 weeks, has gone skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And it's it's really, insane. I mean, my wife's still in California working there before she retires. She's got another year or so to go. And the gas prices there have already passed $5. And then we're looking probably at least by the end of March, it's going to hit $6, if not sooner. And
yeah, I spent about
my house. Jay, my house is insulated. Like I said, last year I hardly went through any, but it's so much colder. It's so much ridiculous cold. The back door I go in and out actually had frost on it several mornings when I went to go out there because the door is so cold. Because we were down to like, I know for some people it's not that cold, but for here, we don't usually get below zero. And we were down to like 18, 19 below zero several days, at least.
Yeah. That's like up here in Canada most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, and
So
that's at night, and you see it sometimes throughout the day, right? When it's like -20 during the day on those cold snaps, right? But usually it's that temperature at night in Celsius, right?
yeah. And yeah, Tibor, it's not just American greed at work. It's a lot more than that. There's been several international corporations that are shipping the liquefied natural gas, and ships have been diverted to other areas because they can get a lot more money shipping it to a different country than what they had agreed to sell it to. And so there things get pushed back. And
Yeah.
Nature Girl says her electric bill is doubled. Ouch. Yeah, the only thing.
I got a couple of. That's one good thing. It hasn't gone up for me. Maybe a little bit, a couple of bucks here or there, right? But I'm almost ready to put some space heaters in after I seen the bill for my propane tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get that over there. Yeah, there's a lot of. Okay, let's see here. A lot of people
I
have
usually run one
of second door. Yeah, we're thinking about putting another door because that's the back door I go out all the time. It's the one where the washing machine and the dryer is and the hot water heater and stuff. And we're thinking about putting a second door in there. But the problem is I don't want it to get so cold in there that it freezes the water lines in the washing machine and dryer and stuff there. So
on the back of my house, there's one door, and then I've got like a deck upstairs. I put metal underneath the deck to catch water for a rain catchment system there. And I built like a waist height thing. And I put like 4 full posts at the end of the deck, and then 2 half posts I made out of pine, tongue and groove right at the house, and like a little fence area around that and 2 doors. And I tarp the windows parts up in the winter, right? And so that when it gets windy out, it's not coming right into the house, because I usually don't use the front door at all anymore, because I got a driveway up the side of the house, and the only person that can see me bring home preps and this and that and the other is my one neighbor. And I don't want to say I do or don't trust him. He's got a family to, you know what I mean? That's where I would trust him. But he seemed to be like, they keep to themselves, keep quiet. They got a business of their own, right? But
right.
Everything's through the back door that way, and because the front door is so open. Everything, like the front of the house, is so open to the street, and I live like it's a country 2-lane highway, right? It's not like your side roads, like in the middle of the country, right? So you got your major 2-lane highways, right, which be like the 407 up here, and I-95 for you guys maybe, but two lanes, one in either direction, sometimes 4 lanes or 3 lanes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's open to everybody. Somebody, sees me go out once a month, comes back with like $800 worth of food. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just looking here at what some of the people are saying, doing. Like I went and got the material. I just haven't gone across the street to borrow my wife's sewing machine. I went to, I got several queen size sheets, and I went across this. I need to go across the street, borrow my daughter's sewing machine. I also have a bunch of the moving pads from Harbor Freight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them into 29-inch weights, 29-inch widths for the moving pads, and then cut 60-inch pieces for out of the queen size sheets, and fold over and make like a little quilt thing that I can hang in front of the windows across the front of the house. I got 6 windows there that are 29 inches wide. And I want to, if I hang that in, they'll stop a lot of the cold there, even though they're double paned with
Yeah.
they're double paned
I
with
do
the
that.
insulation. I mean, the argon gas in there and everything else, but it's just, still, I mean,
Yeah.
as cold as it's getting, it's coming through.
Yeah, like I do that too, but I got the old church windows and I got flags in all the windows but two. And then I got a picture window and I got a curtain in there. I got a scarf in my back door window. I got a bed sheet on my front door. I got a bed sheet on my back door upstairs to the bed. You know what I mean? It's every little bit, right?
Yeah. Across the street, my the living room across the street where my daughter's at has 3 big, huge, monster, single pane picture windows that are 6 foot wide and 46 inches tall. And one of the ones, my grandson, the one that has autism, was banging his head on everything and banged his head and fractured it all. And she has it all.
Oh, he's lucky.
Yeah, she has it all duct taped back up and everything. But we went up to Home Depot and got some 2-inch thick styrofoam insulation. It has the reflective foil on the one side, and so we cut that to fit in there, put it in, then cut some 5/8 particle board to go in behind it, and then put some molding in around it to hold it in place. And so that's taking care of the one window as far as a lot of the the heat loss there. So it's cut down the heat loss by a third for the living room there. But
yeah, I had
she's
the
considering
last
doing
place
another
I
window.
lived in. Yeah, tell her to get the double paned ones with the steel in the mid, like between them. Got the gas or something inside of them.
It's so ridiculously. We had a company come out to price it. It is so ridiculous expensive to do those big monster windows. So we may wind up later on, breaking it down and doing 2 smaller windows in each one, and then having to match the siding in between. So it'll have some smaller windows with the double or triple pane insulation on it.
Yeah, because in this house, because they were all single pane church glass, right? With because my place is from the 1880, and so the guy that renovated this whole, like, stripped out the house and refurnished it, right? Redid the whole place. It's got 2 windows and a piece of metal in between them, and there's like some sort of gas in them. And he said when they went in,
argon gas.
Yeah, I don't know what's in between them, but he said his heating bill lessened by half on just that alone. Yeah.
And that's the thing too, the bubble wrap stuff. You get bubble packages from Amazon or all it's wrapped in bubble wrap. Save that. And I froze again. Yeah, you can use that stuff to put in the windows to act as another layer of insulation there. Hey, Kaylin. Yeah. Kaylin's in the house now.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, yeah, 2 of my windows I got to leave because I got my indoor garden here with growing lights, and I used 2 of the windows to open up with the curtains, the flags I got in the windows, so I can get some sun in for them, so I don't have to, all I got to do is when I go to take them outside, they're a little bit used to the sun, right? All they got to do is adjust to the temperature every day, I don't have to worry about them burning out and dying.
Yeah.
And it helps for the growth, because really up here, it's like my peppers, my tomatoes, ginger, turmeric, stuff like that. That takes that you need a longer growth time for, that I'm starting to plant now for come May 4 weekend, or no later than June 1st. Because that's when we can put stuff into the ground. That's usually when just before that is our last frost.
Yeah, this year's I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit weird. Even back in September, everyone was saying that it's going to be a longer winter, longer and colder winter. Well, it's definitely been colder. We haven't gotten as much snow as we did last year, but
Oh yeah.
everyone's still talking. All right, this since it's so much colder right now, it may go. We may be getting frost. Frost into the second or third week of June, which is not normal. Usually they get. We have
Oh yeah.
gotten in past years on June 4th, gotten or dropped down to 30 degrees and got a half inch of snow that melted off by noontime. But everyone's kind of thinking it's going to be a lot worse. What do we got here? I'm just checking the side chat here.
Yeah, well, like you said, like up here in Canada, I don't know where you are, Gil, but
Idaho.
last year I might be exaggerating by like a quarter of my body height, but they were taller than me. And my neighbor and I, our driveway, his driveway's here, my driveway's here, and there may be like 20 feet between the driveways. And from us throwing snow, that thing was like taller than me, and I'm like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah.
It was to the point where he was throwing snow on my driveway and I was throwing snow back on his unintentionally, right? Just to get it up there.
Yeah.
Last year, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the thing too. When I make these quilted things for the windows, on the one set by near the fireplace where I got my indoor garden set up, and I got to get the video done and get that posted on it. And what we're thinking about doing is making two big curtains that cover across all the windows, so we can open those up and then turn the blind so it lets some sunlight in during the daytime. And Milo on the ready came in. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, Milo. Ray, Fat Man Prepper was talking about getting frost down there in Phoenix. Hey, Julie Evans, how's it going?
Last 2 years, the weather in the last 2 years has really changed, pretty much. Like out in Texas when they had that ice storm.
Yeah.
And then BC with their floods, and then out west there, and then Toronto and Brampton by the Humber River, I think it was, got a little bit of a flood. Nothing like BC, but it was flooded a little bit, right?
Yeah. And
where I live right by the Grand River. And usually, and it's a windy river, so here and there it'll rise, and in Grand Valley, where I used to live, in one part of town, it would rise up so high it'd bring chunks of like literally icebergs, right? Like not like you would see from Antarctica, but the ice off of a river, right? Up and across the street into people's lawns.
Wow.
And then we're used to that pretty much almost every year. It's fluke that it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
I think 2 years ago it was so bad. Someone was out driving under the influence, crossed the bridge over this Grand River, and it swept her car away. She got out of there, grabbed her son, her 3-year-old son, and it swept her son out of her arms, and the kid was found over I forget where the place is named, but like the next couple of towns over in the river, and the river dragged the car at least 10 kilometers before a tree grabbed it. Yeah, a tree, like one of the branches that hang out like that, stopped it. It's weird stuff, right? Like Mother Nature at her best.
Yeah. Just trying to keep up on some of the stuff here. Yeah, I know Garden Girls, it says Boise's watershed is at 82% of normal. I know here on the eastern side of Idaho, I think we're down to like 75% 74 or 70. They were saying, the low 70s on what a lot of the quote watershed here is for the Snake River over here. But farther east of us towards the Tetons and out on the Indian reservations, a lot of the ponds out there and the little lakes are bone dry. And so,
yeah, where I live now, I'm like 20 minutes from Grand Valley, and the river runs pretty close to, not close enough to me, but they've got like reservoirs for when spring hits and it gets up too high, that the reservoirs will fill up for me. And it's like a 10-minute walk to the reservoir, then I got, between, there's maybe, like 6 or 7 concessions or 6 or 7 lines. It's concessions in Grand Valley and lines here in where I live. There's 6 or 7 lines where there is a marsh that is between me and Grand Valley, where you got to go around. You got to take a 20-minute drive just to get to Grand Valley in either direction. That's how big this marsh is.
Yeah.
And every year it can be like you can drive a 4-wheeler in the Grand River come the end of the summer, but you're taking jet skis and in there and luxury boats in there. That's how big how deep, how much water's in there. And then every time it rains, same thing, right? Because half the farmers' fields get drained out into certain drainage spots at the ditches, and then those ditches go to certain creeks or rivers that go right to the Grand River.
Yeah. Hey, Tibor, after all the truckers go to DC and they're returning back to the West Coast, flag some of them tankers down, have them fill the water and bring it to us.
Yeah, like my well, it's not very deep, but it's deep enough. It's like 72 feet. And in the summer, I could be watering the grass for 3 or 4 hours.
Yep.
And not a problem. I've got one of the better wells, but still, right, with the marsh right there, and that reservoir right there, and they're never bone dry, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's in California where there are some areas that seem to retain a lot of water, but they're in such a way that that they, the water that they retain during the summer, they can't use it for growing or anything. It's the road going through there is called Marsh Creek Road, but there are a lot of areas that is just the great governor nuisance of California there, when they're in December, when they're having all the rain and stuff, said, open up the reservoirs. They're going to overflow. Open them up. Don't let the water in. And these reservoirs were below a third. They had to come up a lot even to get back up to normal. And they were below a third of normal for the end of the winter. And then in January, no more rain. And most of February, no rain. And so, Northern California is going to be hurting big time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just,
Yeah.
It's done naturally up here, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's just this, I think all around, this winter is not a normal winter. Areas that are usually drier are getting flooded. Areas that usually have a lot of water are dry. Arizona is getting colder weather farther south than they usually do. And so it's just,
even aside from BC where they had the floods, that's the lower lying area, right? Yeah. And at any given point, right, they could flood out. But Toronto and Brampton being flooded out, even like a fourth of what BC was like, right, is very rare. At 42, I've never seen it like that, right?
Yeah.
My parents have never seen it like that. Might have been like once, because it's right by Lake Ontario. Toronto is, right? So it'd be very rare, right? Get a ton of rain and the ocean comes up, right?
Yeah.
A few feet, but not enough to have people leave their basement apartments or claim flood damage.
Christy says friends in Tennessee are calling their property the lake. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember. I think Bruce at Backwoods Law is in the northeast corner of Tennessee, and so far, I mean, I guess that his little valley thing that when they moved there, they haven't been getting a lot of snow, and they haven't been getting a lot of rain in that one area. It's one of those little spots where everything storms and everything goes around them. Hey, Heirloom Permaculture, how's it going? But yeah, my wife right now, which is all right, wintertime in California, she usually does not have to water the garden in the front or in the back. She's been watering the garden every other day because of how dry it is in Northern California.
Yeah.
And it's just weird. Hang on a second.
Like I'm usually
Alicia,
watering my gardens every day.
Yeah. Hey, Alicia, what state are you in? Because I think milk here, at least in the Sam's Club here, is a lot, several dollars less per gallon than that.
Yeah, ours went up from 4 and change to 5 and change for a 4-liter bag of milk.
Oh, okay,
in the last
she's up
month.
in Nova Scotia. So Alicia's up there in Nova Scotia. So
yeah, I could see that because I'm paying about 5 and change here in Ontario.
Yeah.
And that's at a Walmart.
Yeah.
Where the lowest price is the law.
Yeah, I'm gonna check something here real quick here. Sam's Club, Idaho Falls. And let's see what the see if it's giving it. Okay, it's 3 for whole milk is $3.27 a gallon. For 1% is $2.73. 2% is $2.96 here. Yeah. So, well, of course, we're also really lucky. We got between us and Sam's Club is the dairy, and then south of us is another dairy. So there's several dairies here around Idaho Falls. I think there's even another dairy north of Idaho Falls as well. So got some decent stuff there. And Moon over Miami came in. Hey, how's it going?
I was just in contact with a farmer there that sells meat and sells vegetables when they're in season, I guess, when they pull them out of the ground or pick them, right?
Yeah.
She has pigs or pork products for 5 and change a pound. And then she's sending in her cows in April. And so sometime I'm going to pick up some pork products this week, about $100 worth if it's that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm a butcher, right? Like my old man Ray had a company there. He was into the beef and pork until the mad cow disease hit, right? And then went to chickens. So been a butcher all my life, been in and around the kill floors, right? Because he raised me up. You learn, you start at the bottom, you work on the kill floors, you learn about the parts and everything else, right? Then, he had me out up on the road with his drivers. And then and this, like at a young age, I think I was 6 or 7 when I would start to hang around there, right? So, right up to being like floor manager with some shares, right? So, and I was talking to them and I said, I want special orders where, like I'm the next butcher, right? I'm not looking for any less of a price because they're dealing it with it less. I'll still pay your prices, right? But if I decide I want a half a pig or a quarter of a cow, you know what I mean? I just tell you which part of the cow I want, and I'll butcher it myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why
Milo,
put that,
Milo, it's never too late to start composting. We compost year round. So yeah, it's never too late to start composting.
oh yeah, never. Keep your hands on your chicken and turkey bones because you can make bone broth out of them and put them in the bones into the oven for at 280 is what I do, until they're so brittle you can break the bones in half and you stick them in the blender and blend them up and you got your bone meal right there. I do banana peels in the oven at 240 for until they're crispy, right? Stick them in a coffee grinder, and then same thing with eggshells. And your coffee grinds. That's what you want to really hold on to and do that too, because those are some of your most important things for the garden.
Yeah.
And you don't have to spend any money to get those particular fertilizers, right?
Right.
I do it, and I use very little 20-20-20,
Yeah.
just because it's a growth thing, right? It's got all the other stuff in there or some stuff to help, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Let me pull this other thing up here. Made me think of something here. Come on. There we go. All right.
And like you guys, or whatever that guy you had on talking about the gardens, right?
Yeah,
I've
that was
noticed with especially
Ron.
especially with the bone meal, it and everything else, right? It creates some molds. I see a few extra bugs in there, you know what I mean? And I pulled the dirt from outside in. I put them in 5-gallon containers, but I leave so many sitting outside, bring a couple in to thaw out as I'm doing my transplanting, right? Because I was doing some transplanting of peppers. I do it in the egg cartons with the seeds, and then once they start poking through the dirt, they go into containers to grow, and that's when I stick in bone meal, coffee grinds, the eggshells, the banana peels, the 20-20-20, right? And then just keep watering them, and then when it's time to go outside, they go outside.
Okay, Alicia, best fertilizer for growing tomatoes. Well, 2 years ago, we got a whole bunch of rabbit manure from a guy in town here that raises rabbits, and the my tomatoes went eh. Then I bought the new house over here across the street, and the guy here had a bunch of cows here, so I scraped up all the cow poo and put it in the same size tubs I had the other end, and my tomatoes went absolutely bonkers. I mean, they were growing like 5-6 feet tall and outside the cages and just going nuts. But I forgot to put some eggshells in below when I planted the tomatoes. You got to put some eggshells in there or some Tums with calcium to give it the calcium it needs, because tomatoes need calcium to fend off in blossom rot.
Yeah, the actually, I don't know too much about the manures, but I do know is when it comes to any manure, you want to be very careful in who you go to, because some farmers, because they're I don't know what the right words are, but they mass produce.
They're using someone's are buying alfalfa from farmers that use Grazon, and grazon will kill your garden. Any broadleaf plant for years will die if you put down some manure that had grazon in it. They're trying to ban that totally here in Idaho. So
Yeah,
but yeah,
when you mass produce the animals, they're putting injecting them with hormones, the females, and then they're giving them grains to take them out of hormones, growing stuff. You know what I mean? And they're just what goes in must come out, right? So it's coming out in their urine and their poo, and that's something you don't want in your garden because apparently it's going to kill that stuff you guys were talking about the other week.
Yeah, or some of the hormones are going to pass on. All right, got some questions here about drying out banana peels and putting it in your garden, because banana peels are high in potassium, and you need to get the potassium back into the soil. Yeah, and like Ron, the Green Wizard, says, Epsom salt helps. It also helps breaking up the clay and returning to normal. One of the other things that Ron has talked to me about in previous years when I've had him on here and offline is hang on, let me go ahead and drop that off there. So it's something called green sand. There are different makers of green sand, or I should say miners of green sand, because it's a mineral deposit from where the last major ice age came down and ground up all the minerals and retreated. And there's different companies that do green sand. So if you go on to Amazon and you search, let me go up here, just search green sand, and you got several ones pop up.
That
green sand. Salt. And the green
that Epsom salt, it also.
Yeah, we already covered that. But green sand here, there's different makers of green sand.
So but it also gives magnesium too.
Yeah. So like I said, there's different ones on green sand. Check out, compare the prices, because some of them are ridiculously high for the amount you're getting. And especially if you get the small bags, like the 1 and 2 pound bags, it's cheaper to get actually a lot cheaper to get a 10-pound bag, because the price drops from $5 a pound down to $2 a pound with the bigger ones you get. Like the 30-pound one here is $76 for 30 pounds. So that's just a little over $2.25 a pound or something like that. The 50-pound bag is $2.02, or no, $2.20 a pound. So yeah, you can see the prices. You can go check it out yourself. And then there's some other things like the zolamite and other things that helps too. Hey, how the garden? How's it going? Let's see here. Check on the side chat.
Yeah, it's easier for them in the bigger. Yeah, it's easier for them to push the stuff out in the bigger bags, and it's lesser time to do, right? When you get them in the smaller bags, it's more time to make them, so it's going to cost more.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Alicia's asking, have I done microgreens? No, I haven't. I was trying to remember who else done microgreens. There are several channels that have done microgreens. I haven't done it. My wife's thinking about doing microgreens, and Idaho Girl has zolamite as well. That's good stuff. And scroll back up here. Yeah, Milo, it's green sand, not Soylent Green. Let's see here what we got here. And yeah, I mean, there are, going into the political a little bit. DeWine is Ohio's governor, and trying to catch the right spot here. Tibor said he's a demon rat in Republican clothes. We have the same problem here in Idaho. Governor Little showed his true colors and has everybody PO'd at him. There we go. I knew someone. Rebel Candace playing. Bunky's Garden does microgreens in milk jugs. There you go. And let me see. Tammy, can you throw his link in there? You got a wrench, so can you throw his link in there, or her link for that?
I'll be right
Tina,
back.
take care. Tina's heading out. But yeah, there is a lot of cool things you can be doing, even though we're having a hard winter. That's why I'm trying to do my indoor garden experiment, and other people are trying to do indoor garden stuff. There's a lot of good things here for you can use for growing. This is one that kind of ticked me off. So I'm gonna bring it up in here because it ticks me off because they dropped the price after I bought it. Last year I got these for $109.99. It's dropped $10. These work great. These UV lights, you get 6 of them, and they can be daisy chained together. They have a switch on the one cord, or you just put it on a timer. You got to buy the timer separately, but it's not that expensive. And yeah, so yeah, this is what I have right now, and I'll be hopefully in the next day or two getting the video all edited and get it out on my indoor garden experiment. One of the things I want to do with how cold and everything gets up here in Idaho, tomato plants die. Sometimes my wife can get a tomato plant down there in California to live through the winter. But so we're going to try to get a couple tomato plants to grow year round here in the house. And there's some other things we're going to try to grow as well to get them to grow year round, like rainbow chard and basil, and get a couple things, see if I can get it to grow in the house year round. There we go. There's the link for Binky's Gardens channel there. Okay, Milo has a question here. Let me go take us back over here. Seen a lot of videos about microgreens, but they are just harvesting before fully grown. What's the truth about that? I'm trying to remember some people have said that you can harvest microgreens constantly. I know Fat Man Prepper is going to be growing microgreens and doing videos on it. All right, Tibor's jumping out. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. And supposedly microgreens, you can harvest it constantly through it. You don't have to wait till they're almost fully grown. Some of them you can harvest fairly young and stuff. All right, Teresa, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we got about 10 more minutes here before I cut it off. But yeah, microgreens is something my wife is going to be trying. And so we're breaking up the gardening experience. So once she gets up here, we can combine everything together and figure out exactly what we're going to do. About a little.
These microgreens. Here's a question, Gil. These microgreens. When you go to harvest them, how do you harvest them? Do you pull them out of the ground, or you cut them down to, say, a certain point?
That I don't know. I've heard both. Well, the sprouts you pull, if it's a microgreen sprouts, like the sprouts, the bean sprouts and stuff, you pull them out because that's what you're harvesting the whole thing. Some of the other microgreens, I think you're constantly trimming on it. I'm not sure. And I froze again. My wife's been watching more videos on that than I have. So, there we go. There's the answer. Cut with scissors on microgreens. So you get you probably get a little pair of garden scissors like this.
All right, thanks.
Open up. They just go in and just kind of cut the stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, these are Fiskars. I picked them up
Okay,
at
I'd like to see. Yeah, I'd like to
Sam's.
see a video on that, Rebel Canners, when you're doing it.
All right, and here he is, the Green Wizard's in the chat, folks. Ron Netzel is the Green Wizard. All right. Henceforth, the confusion about microgreens. But yeah, if you're doing microgreens and if you're doing indoor gardening in pots and stuff, you got to make sure you're adding the minerals and stuff back in that the plants need, because you got to keep that soil live, vibrant and living. And,
for sure. Anytime that you're putting stuff into shock, right? When you do that, you got to revitalize it immediately.
Yeah. The soil is what healthy soil produces healthy mitochondria, which produces healthy plants. So,
yeah,
all right. So Rebels is going to be doing it here. So she's going to be doing microgreens. Right. She's going to do a video, and Julie says that sprouts are easy to grow. So, all right, Moon over Miami. See you later. She's checking out here. All right, so I need to check something real quick before I go here, because I want to provide the right information to everybody. And open this one here up. I'm not sure what I have. Okay, it's in at 8:00 Eastern here, so in 35 minutes, Courtney at Wide Family Farm is going live for a Media Monday. So let's go ahead and pop that up here. So this is she's going live Media Monday here. That's Wide Family Farm. Come on, scroll down. Yeah, Wide Family Farm. And she's going live here in a little over half an hour. Yeah, all right. Ron says make sure the microgreen soil is rich in calcium for faster recovery. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Now, coming up here on my channels here tomorrow night is we're going to be talking about gas shortages and gas prices going through the roof. So that's tomorrow night on my Gray Man Prepping channel at 10 o'clock Eastern time. So figure out your time zones from Eastern time. 10 o'clock Eastern is gas shortage. We're talking about getting prepared for that. Thursday, also on Gray Man Prepping, is our scenario-based net, where we talk about some of these scenarios that some of the fair-born channels are, we're going to have this. Oh, you want to survive it? Buy my crap and stuff like that. So we're going to be punching a hole in this. After martial law is declared, what's really going to happen? And hopefully Bob has not gone over to Mindanao yet. He's still here in the States, and I'll bring Bob up here because he's been in several different countries where they've had martial law, and his wife was in martial law over there in the Philippines. So hopefully we can get some good information on that. And it's the information that he's talked about before is not what you think it's like. So we'll see how that goes. And just checking things
had that emergency act go on for a few days there, and I wasn't anywhere near it, but from what I had seen, people had their trucks taken away, fines, arrested, everything but the book being thrown at them.
Yeah. Tonight, okay, and this is the link for Courtney's live coming up here in just a couple of minutes, over half an hour here. Next Monday night here, we're going to be, since this is my gardening and homesteading channel, we're going to be talking about your garden plans again, going into garden plans, see, talk about how they're going on, how your garden plans are changing, or, everybody's going to be talking about it. Hopefully I can get Courtney in here next week talking about that. Tammy, if you want to come up here next week, I'll include you on the link. I'll send you the link for from the beginning. And so that's what we're going to be talking about next week here. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. Ever try to figure out, tell me you live in one place that doesn't do it? Oh, sounds like Milo's in Arizona. They don't do it. Daylight savings time was instigated during World War II so they could get better production out for the war effort. It actually costs each state more money to go on daylight savings time and off of daylight savings time if they just stayed off of daylight savings time. It really doesn't do any good because a lot of the cities and stuff have become 24-hour cities. So what's the use of having daylight saving time? All right. So otherwise, just to annoy all the cows and the sheep and stuff, when the cows are from being milked, oh, we're going to milk you an hour later. Cows are like, F you, get out here and milk me now. But so we're going to go ahead and cut this out.
Yeah.
And I just want to remind everybody, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps, water, food, medicine, gardening skills, other skills. And we'll see you around.